A death watch outside Trenton State Prison awaits the execution of Bruno Richard Hauptmann. He has been convicted of kidnapping and murdering this child, the firstborn son of Charles Lindbergh. On the night of April 3rd, 1936, Bruno Hauptmann is put to death. After years of intensive research, a writer named Anthony Scaduto has uncovered startling new evidence that Bruno Hauptmann may not have been guilty of the kidnap or murder of the Lindbergh baby. We are a nation founded in laws, but sometimes our system of justice doesn't live up to its highest ideals. With newly uncovered evidence, we're going to go back more than half a century and carefully re-examine a moment when justice may have faltered. New York is a city with a passion for hailing its heroes, and in 1927, it celebrates a man who, with one courageous act, has captured the imagination of the world. His name is Charles Lindbergh, and he has flown the Atlantic alone. The most famous man of his time, Lindbergh shuns the public eye. As privately as is possible, he courts the beautiful Anne Morrow, daughter of an American ambassador. Soon the couple is married, and in 1930, their first child is born. It is a boy named Charles Augustus Lindbergh, Jr. As the son of a national hero, he is famous and adored, but his life is doomed. On March 1st, 1932, the Lindbergh home is secretly entered through the second-floor nursery window. The sleeping Lindbergh baby is stolen from his crib. A makeshift wooden ladder was used to reach the child, while the Lindberghs were on the floor below. Within hours, the Lindbergh house in Hopewell, New Jersey is crowded with police. A ransom note demands $50,000 for the baby's safe return. Posters describing the 20-month-old baby are quickly circulated throughout the country. New York and New Jersey police are assigned to double shifts in an all-out search for the child. In New York City, first contact is made with the kidnappers by a retired school teacher named John F. Condon. Condon becomes a go-between in the attempt to recover the child.
The baby will be returned, I hope, in a short time. We are in contact and nobody is giving up.
A month after the kidnapping, Condon and Charles Lindbergh deliver $50,000 to a cemetery in the Bronx. The ransom is accepted, but the Lindbergh baby is not returned. 1 month later, near the Lindbergh estate, the baby's body is found. For the next 2.5 years, police and the FBI tried desperately to solve the crime. Marked bills from the ransom money are turning up throughout New York. In September of 1934, one of the ransom bills is spent at a gas station in Manhattan. The man who passed the bill is an immigrant German carpenter named Bruno Richard Hauptmann. Police search his house in the Bronx. In his garage, they find hidden nearly $15,000 of the Lindbergh ransom money. Hauptmann is arrested and taken to the Bronx County Courthouse. Amid a flurry of publicity, he's charged with murder. The long and frustrating search for the kidnapper of Lindbergh's child is finally over. Though the evidence against Hauptmann is totally circumstantial, authorities feel certain they've found their man. Hauptmann is arraigned in New York and extradited to New Jersey for trial. Flemington, New Jersey is a small and quiet town. But on January 2nd, 1935, its normally tranquil courthouse becomes the focus of world attention. Thousands flock to what newspapers call the most sensational trial of the century. Though he hates the publicity, Lindbergh attends on every single day. David Willents heads the prosecution. The noted criminal lawyer, Edward J. Riley, is in charge of Hauptmann's defense.
All counsel are prepared. We do not anticipate any adjournments, and we are ready to go.
Since the time of his arrest, Hauptmann has claimed to be totally innocent of the charges against him. Now, he must defend himself before a vengeful public and a sensation-seeking press. For Hauptmann's wife, the trial is torture. Judge Thomas Trenchard has allowed cameras in the courtroom so that the world can witness the trial. The ladder used to reach the baby becomes the trial's symbol and a major piece of evidence. An expert claims that it was partly constructed with wood from Hauptmann's attic. A panel of handwriting experts testify that Hauptmann's writing is identical to that in the ransom notes. Initially, Hauptmann seems unperturbed. Now, John F. Condon takes the stand. He tells the court that he handed the Lindbergh ransom money to a tall, thin man with a German accent at a cemetery in the Bronx. The man called himself John.
Who is John? John is Bruno Richard Hauptmann.
Now, Charles Lindbergh tells the court that it was Hauptmann's voice that he clearly heard on the night that the ransom was paid. Another witness, Amandus Hochmuth, swears he saw Hauptmann near the Lindbergh house on the day before the crime. A host of other eyewitnesses connect Bruno Hauptmann with the ransom money.
Hauptmann drove into my station and pulled up to an ethyl pump and asked for 5 gallons of gas.
I identified Bruno Richard Hauptmann.
I identified Bruno Richard Hauptmann.
Bruno Richard Hauptmann was the man who came to the Sheraton Theater and handed me one of the $5 ransom bills.
Now, Hauptmann's only real defense lies in his power to convince the court that he did not commit the crime. When he finally takes the stand, his denials are not persuasive.
Didn't you lie on the road? Time and time again, didn't you? I did not. You did not? No. All right. When you were arrested with this Lindbergh ransom money, you had a $20 bill. Lindbergh ransom money, did they ask you where you got it? Did they ask you? You did. Did you lie to them or did you tell them the truth? Did you lie to them or did you tell them the truth? I said nothing. You lied, didn't you? I did, yes.
The trial of Bruno Hauptmann lasts for 31 days. The jury reaches its verdict in little more than 11 hours. As the news of Hauptmann's conviction is flashed around the world, his wife and his attorney make a final public appearance.
Mrs. Hauptmann, you still believe in the innocence of your husband, don't you?
I believe, and I know my husband is innocent. He did not kidnap the Lindbergh baby, and he did not murder the Lindbergh baby. I wish to appeal to the people of the United States to help me. I have no money. I haven't even got money for my sick baby.
At New Jersey's Trenton State Prison, Hauptmann waits to die. On April 3rd, 1936, the sentence is carried out. Newsreel cameras at the time recreate Hauptmann's last moments. To the end, he will say he is innocent.
Flash, United Press, Trenton, Hauptmann executed, 8:47½.
A morbid crowd outside the prison has gathered to watch the hearse leave. In New York City, nearly 40 years after Hauptmann's death, new evidence has come to light. Anthony Scaduto, a writer and a former reporter, has spent more than 3 years investigating the complex details of the Lindbergh kidnapping case. Scaduto's probing research has revealed some startling new facts.
Back in 1973, I got a call from a man who had been on the fringes of organized crime for many years. I had been the mafia expert, so-called, for the New York Post. And he said he could prove that Hauptmann was absolutely innocent of the crime of kidnapping and killing the Lindbergh baby. And I began to check into some of his evidence, and I eventually got into the files of the Bronx District Attorney's Office and the New York City Police Department. And I found strong evidence that Hauptmann indeed had been the victim of a frame-up. I found evidence that all the eyewitness testimony had been, the eyewitnesses were either liars or mistaken, that the expert testimony, the expert witnesses, distorted in order to help convict Hauptmann, and that the physical evidence, every piece of physical evidence, was either manufactured by the police or distorted by them to convict Hauptmann. And I feel absolutely certain that Hauptmann was innocent.